When the world was plunged into the chaos of the Second World War, the front lines weren't just fought by soldiers with rifles. They stretched into quiet neighborhoods, small villages, crowded cities, and the very homes where families lived their everyday lives. As bombs fell and sirens wailed, ordinary people were thrust into extraordinary roles. Men, women, and even children were suddenly responsible for defending their own streets, their own communities, and their own futures. They weren't trained soldiers. They were bakers, teachers, mechanics, clerkspeople, whose lives days earlier revolved around gardens, stores, and schoolrooms. Yet under pressure, they learned creative, practical, and incredibly effective ways to protect themselves from the threats of invasion, firebombing, sabotage, and civil breakdown. Many of these tactics were simple. Almost all were resourceful, and, surprisingly, most are still relevant today. One of the foundations of wartime home defense was the neighborhood watch and warning system. During the Blitz in Britain, entire blocks organized themselves into fire watch teams, calming no one, but protecting everyone. They climbed rooftops during raids, scanning the dark for incendiary bombs. When they spotted one, they didn't panic, they communicated. They coordinated. They worked side by side to extinguish flames before they could spread. Across the Atlantic, the U.S. Civil Defense Corps trained civilian wardens to monitor the skies, report aircraft movement, and enforce blackout rules. These everyday citizens became the connective tissue of local defense alert, responsive and disciplined. The principle that emerged is timeless. Early warning prevents catastrophe. A small group of households communicating clearly can stop chaos before it starts. In the modern version, it requires almost nothing. A shared message group, a rotation schedule, a set of walkie-talkies, or simple signal lights. Just as whistles and sirens served in the 1940s, these tools can transform a neighborhood into a safety network, especially when professional responders are delayed. Light discipline was another life-saving practice. In World War II, a single uncovered window at night could act like a beacon for enemy bombers. Families covered their glass with heavy blackout curtains. Lamps were shielded. Patrol wardens walked the streets, ensuring not a sliver of light escaped. Today, we aren't concerned about bombers overhead, but the lesson still matters. In a long-term power outage or civil emergency, a brightly lit home powered by a generator can draw unwanted attention. Blackout curtains, controlled lighting, and covered lamps maintain privacy and security when conditions outside your walls are unpredictable. Civilians of the era understood deeply that the ability to blend in was sometimes the difference between safety and danger. Shelter was another essential part of home defense. Across Europe, people built small, improvised bunkers. The British Anderson shelter, buried in gardens and covered with earth, offered surprisingly strong protection against explosions. For those in tight city apartments, the Morrison shelter, a reinforced steel table, served as a shelter inside a shelter. Families huddled beneath it through the darkest nights of the Blitz. These structures weren't comfortable. They weren't elegant, but they worked. They saved lives. Modern families don't need backyard bunkers, but the logic remains: a designated safe room, a basement corner reinforced with shelves or sandbags, or a windowless interior space stocked with water, first aid, and essentials can protect against storms, debris, or unrest. WWII civilians didn't wait for danger to arrive. They prepared a fallback zone long before it was needed. Fire defense was yet another hidden battlefield. Incendiary bombs burned hot and fast, designed to ignite rooftops and overwhelm fire brigades. Civilians responded with buckets of sand and water at every stairwell. Fire watchers trained to spot embers and attack them immediately with simple stirrup pumps. Entire neighborhoods developed an instinctive, organized response to fire, acting as a single unit long before firefighters arrived. The modern takeaway: every household should be capable of handling small emergencies before they become large ones. A fire extinguisher in every home, buckets in shared spaces, garden hoses ready to use. These tools create a community capable of stopping a small flame before it becomes a disaster. Improvised fortifications also played a significant role. Homes were reinforced with crossbars on doors, sandbags under windows, and furniture arranged as barricades. Rural families dug trenches to reduce exposure to strafing attacks. These measures weren't meant to stop a full-scale assault, but they added precious seconds of protection, and more importantly, psychological confidence. Modern home hardening follows the same philosophy, reinforcing door frames, installing deadbolts, strategically placing heavy furniture, and boarding windows during storms. All of these slowed down threats. By time, WWII civilians understood something that still holds true. Security isn't about perfection, it's about layers. One of the most defining struggles of the home front was food scarcity. Ration books controlled access to nearly everything. Meat, butter, sugar, eggs. Governments urged families to dig for victory, planting small gardens that produced a staggering amount of national food supply. Communities canned, dried, and preserved produce at levels rarely seen outside wartime. The modern lesson is straightforward: grow a little, store a little, ration a little. Even a small backyard bed or balcony planter can supplement your food supply. Canning, freezing, and dehydrating extend the life of surplus crops, and simple pantry rationing stocks of rice beans. Canned vegetables mirrors exactly what wartime families did when global supply chains collapsed. Perhaps the most overlooked part of World War II home defense was training. Schools practiced air raid drills. Families rehearsed moving into shelters at night. Communities conducted blackout exercises. Repetition created familiarity, and familiarity created calm. In the face of real danger, practiced movements replaced panic. Modern households can apply this immediately. Practice turning off utilities. Practice finding the safe room. Practice just like wartime drills reduced casualties, these small habits can save lives in modern emergencies. When we look back at the forgotten home defense tactics of the Second World War, a clear truth emerges. Ordinary people without uniforms, without advanced equipment, without military training built systems of resilience that protected entire nations. Neighborhood watch networks built security. Blackout discipline reduced risk. Household shelters offered protection. Fire defense prevented catastrophe. Improvised fortifications created barriers. Food storage ensured survival. Practice built confidence. None of these measures required advanced technology. None required wealth. They required coordination, discipline, and a willingness to adapt. For history lovers, these strategies reveal the daily courage of civilians who faced unimaginable challenges. For survivalists and modern families, they serve as a ready-made blueprint, a set of timeless principles that still work when power grids fail, storms hit, or civil order falters. The core truth hasn't changed. Strong communities and prepared households endure. Matter the threat. If you found this deep dive into forgotten wartime resilience valuable, subscribe to In the Beginning for more historical insights, and share this video with anyone who cares about preparedness, self-sufficiency, and the lessons that history still teaches us today. Because these stories aren't just echoes of the past, they are blueprints for survival in any age.